Title: Yanks breaking banks and boundaries, floodgates open for Euro trip. TLDR. After years of pandemic-induced staycations, the itch for travel has American tourists packing their bags and flooding European destinations. And we're not talking about a mere trickle here. The influx is so intense it's clogging up historic hotspots like the Acropolis, Rome's Central Station, and St. Mark's Square in Venice. Higher costs. Long waits. PSSSH. These intrepid adventurers are too high on wanderlust to care. So, what's up with these Europhiles? Is it the lure of wine, cheese, and architectural marvels, or is it a case of revenge tourism, a giant middle finger to the virus that stole their vacation dreams for 3 long years? American tourists, no strangers to Q culture thanks to their local DMVs, are seen merrily lining up for more than 2 hours to soak in the grandeur of the Acropolis in Athens, brave taxi queues in Rome, and nudge their way through the thronging crowds around St. Mark's Square in Venice. Who knew standing in lines could be so exhilarating? Summer 2023 is turning out to be the comeback tour for tourism in Europe, with cities like Barcelona, Rome, Athens, and Venice, and islands like Santorini, Capri, and Majorca expecting a tourist inflow that might just surpass 2019 records. After a timid resurgence in 2022 led by European tourists, this year it's the Americans leading the charge. Why now, you might ask? Well, it's a sweet cocktail of a strong dollar and a healthy serving of pandemic savings that's got Americans booking flights faster than you can say bon voyage. Add to that a dash of revenge tourism, a growing trend where people are so desperate to reclaim their freedom to travel that they're willing to ignore heftier airfares and hotel bills. Take for instance, 25-year-old Lauren Gonzalez. She and 4 of her friends landed in Rome this week for a 16-day spree across the Italian capital, Florence, and the seaside after 3 years of domestic vacations. And they ain't even bothered about the escalated prices or the bustling crowds. We kind of saved up, and we know this is a trip that is meaningful, Lauren says. But here's the real question: what's the price tag on meaningful experiences? Is it worth it to swap the comforts of home for a whirlwind Euro trip complete with snaking queues, bloated bills, and bustling crowds? And more importantly, are we looking at a brave new wave of travel culture defined by revenge tourism? What does this mean for our perception of value, experience, and maybe even resilience in the face of challenges? And hey, when all is said and done, isn't every moment of life an adventure, whether you're stuck in a queue or cruising down a Venetian canal ? Hey readers, we want to hear from you. What's your take on this explosion of American tourists in Europe? Is revenge tourism here to stay, or is it a fleeting response to pandemic restrictions? And most crucially, how far would you go for a meaningful trip? Let's discuss. Disclaimer: this story is based on news and facts, and does not endorse or provide any form of advice on tourism or travel practices.